Hello and welcome to final round coverage of the 2023 Lake Marshall Open presented by Prodigy. Thank you as always to our coverage sponsors, Cosmic Disc Golf, D-Town Disc Golf, and Reaper Disc Supply. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the booth by Dan Brooks-Wells. How's it going, Dan?
Going good. What's up, everybody? Welcome back for the conclusion of the Lake Marshall Open. We got Lucas Oberholtzer Hess at -14, shot 2-7 downs. We got Braeden Sides also at -14. He had a blazing round one at -9 and -5 for the second round. We have Aidan Scott, who had a -5 the first round and a very solid -7 the second round. And joining us on the final card is Charles Behrhorst, who had a 1 down the first round. He'll want a little bit of redemption and a scorching 8 down for the second round.
Yeah, should be a really exciting finish on this lead card. Jumping into hole 1 is a par 5 at 970 feet. Off the tee, a great tee shot lands right about here. It's about 400 to 450 from the tee. Then you're gonna want to land your second over these 2 out of bounds ditches somewhere in this range. And then that should leave you under 300 into the basket. The whole right side is out of bounds, so you want to make sure to steer clear of that.
First to tee from Team West Side, Lucas Oberholtzer Hess.
And Lucas, no stranger to coverage, young gun, bomber.
Yeah, this course really does suit well for him. We saw him do just fine over in the lair, but to watch him really open up and throw some full power shots here on the lines will be fun to watch.
Ripping a forehand into the landing zone.
Yeah, that is great.
Next up from Team Disc Mania, Braeden Sides.
Braeden had a very solid round 2, except for 1 hole. Let's see if we can stay away from that blow-up hole today.
Yeah, I mean, if he's able to do anything close to what he did in round 1, I would think he's got a great shot to win this tournament. So definitely a little trickier conditions today with a little bit of wind, but I'm sure he'll be able to navigate it just fine. Nice looking shot.
Thank you.
Wow, fantastic shot. That's in eagle territory.
Yes,
representing Team Prodigy is Aidan Scott.
Round 2, Aidan's putter was pretty good.
Yeah, on fire. This is going to be the 3rd round in a row, actually, that we've watched Aidan. He put together a pretty solid round 1 on camera, so see if he's able to replicate it. This doesn't look like it has enough turn.
Could have been worse.
And he is right. That could have been worse. I think he stayed up top.
And last to tee, representing Katie and Tate Behrhorst, Charles Behrhorst.
We're seeing him and his wife. Charles is a good friend. He is a great person, and he can really huck the disc far.
He also takes 0 time to throw. I played with Charles in round 2. You will notice. I wouldn't be surprised if we missed some of his shots because the guy plays quick.
Yeah, knowing Charles, you'd be like, why do you what's taking you so long? He's like, what's there to think about? You just get up there and throw.
That's a good impression. Yeah. Tough tee shot for him. Leaks a little left. Has to pitch out. We'll see what he's got to work with here now on his 3rd. Yeah, little bit on the right side of the fairway. This is gonna have to get lucky. And it does.
It did. Yeah, he can try to go for the green after that for sure.
Yeah, should be able to save par. This is that upslope.
Yeah, he seemed to definitely trickle through. He stayed up, and he's going for the other side. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's about as good as you can do from where he was. Great shot. This. I think Lucas could also get an eagle from here. I mean, this is probably pushing 500 feet from where he is, but he's got it.
Yeah, I mean, with his arm, he's just kind of ripping a disc on a slight hyzer and hoping to get a skip down the hill. That's fine.
It's great, but if that got a little flare, he might be in jump putt range.
To start his day off for an eagle look. There's that slight hyzer out of the hand. Oh, and it clips a tree. Does it have enough?
Wow. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. He's pin high.
Yeah, even with a little bit of cabbage that he caught, he's got a circle 2 look.
Yeah, that's definitely the best I've seen anyone play this hole. Nice shot from Charles. That's going to give him a look to save the par. But yeah, I mean, to be on that far side of that first landing zone is a smash from Braeden, and then to follow it up with a great second shot is really impressive.
Aidan choosing the forehand. He's trying to get that right to left movement. Yeah, circle putt.
Yeah, not bad. Little tester, confidence booster putt to start the day. Just a little chipper.
That's a good way to start off your round, right? Just to drop in.
Yeah, dropping birdie, but could lose a stroke here. Braeden sides for eagle from about 40. Oh, just
So
a bit
close.
off. Here's Aidan now. This is a birdie look for him as well.
Yeah, see if we can keep that fire putting going from yesterday.
Mhm.
It's a tough one. I mean, it's not a death, but it does slope downhill, and there is OB back there. So if you sailed it, potentially, that might have been going through his head, but.
Charles, honestly, that's the longest I've ever seen him take on a putt.
Oh, really?
Right there. No, I'm kidding. But like you said, he's quick, a little low, tough to start out the day with a bogey, but plenty of time to make up strokes. We are going to see a couple birdies from our leaders to gain a little bit of distance.
Pulling away a little bit, yeah. Right, hole 2 here, sponsored by Reaper Disc Supply. Par 3, 505 feet. I believe the play is a mid-range or a overstable fairway to get way down this gap and just kind of push left. Don't miss left, don't miss right.
Yeah, just get something going straight. If you finish left at the end, that's a bonus. But I mean,
Yeah.
hitting the gap, I think, is a win on this one.
Yeah, these guys want to have a putt, right? Like, they want to putt every hole. This one is pushing left.
Wow.
What a shot.
Is he parked?
He's past the basket. So he threw that like 535.
Oh my
maybe.
gosh, that's insane.
And this is the level you got to play at to win these A tiers, right?
Yeah, I mean the fields are young and talented in disc golf nowadays. So Braeden,
I mean, this
just
is the
matches
same
it.
shot or better.
Oh my
Oh, sit.
gosh!
Is it rolling?
If you're watching this at home and you haven't played this course, come play this hole and do that. It might take you 100 tries.
Yeah.
And you can't do it. Like I could throw this hole 100 tries and I wouldn't do that. Like
You'd even lose 20 discs in the process.
yeah, This hole's so hard.
I mean,
Aiden just
Aidan
PR'd
did
it
it
too. What is
too.
happening?
What's going on?
What is
All right,
happening?
Charles. And now I just expect it from Charles. Let's go.
Oh my god.
That looks pretty good out of the hand. Oh. Oh, he catches the... If he missed that, it would have been the same type of shot.
And that's still a great shot on this hole, you know? Like he's got an easy par. This hole averaged 3.69. This averaged well over par. Like, and these guys are just absolutely puring it. Here's our first birdie luck of the group.
A little tester coming back up the hill. Boom.
Wow. Yeah, so he just went like 40 deep.
Yeah.
And it's not even an issue. Okay.
Nice job, Lucas.
These guys came to play. Here's Aidan now, even closer.
Yeah, Aidan a match.
It can be tricky over here where he is. There's a bunch of like little trees and bushes and branches. I think it looks like he's on the outside of it though.
Oh,
A little left. Doesn't
Yeah.
quite connect.
Charles to save his par. Yeah, that nose down is kind of sinking him a little bit more than he'd like.
Yeah, when you have a nose up down, a putt as nose down as Charles, you really gotta commit to that height. Just doesn't quite have the pop out of the hand, but Braeden is feeling good.
Sir, great birdie.
Yeah, I mean, if these guys keep playing like this is going to be a two-horse race, and nobody's going to catch them. But still a lot of golf to go, so we'll see what happens here as we jump in hole 3, par 4, 660. This tee shot is way uphill. You just want to throw whatever you can to get something to push straight and land anywhere in this area up towards the flat. Then you have another uphill shot in towards the green, a couple of late trees to miss. A bit of a treacherous green with this left to right slope, or right to left slope, I should say, that fades away from the basket. So distance control is going to be paramount.
Yeah, I would say more people throw the backhand, but I definitely see the forehand play here. Absolutely.
It's the safe option, I think. You know, you don't want to be in the left side rough. It is quite thick. As Lucas, it looks like he might find it anyway. But yeah, I think it's pretty easy to when you're throwing that backhand to have something that fades out left, right, left, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't hate the forehand, but yeah, this is the more traditional play that you'll see from Braeden here.
Yeah, I mean the only tree, I mean it looks wide open, or these guys are making it look wide open, but it's not as wide open as it looks. The only tree that's in your head is that one on the right. If you kick that, you're in a lot of trouble. But when you get by that, it opens up pretty good up there.
Yeah, especially going uphill like this, most players are trying to move something a little bit left to right. Like you want something to kind of drift, and it's
Right.
easy to just yank it a little bit out of your hand and catch that first tree, and that is not a fun place to be.
No, that was an unfortunate last tree. If he misses that, he's like on top of the hill, I think.
Yeah, same for Charles. Just catches a little branch there, drops him down.
It's gonna be a little bit more costly too.
I think
Lucas
this is
here.
Yeah, Lucas first.
Yeah, he just needs to get out. Yeah, good shot.
Yeah, this is a common theme on this course. On a lot of these holes, is you have a steep drop off on the side of the fairway, and there's a bunch of thick trees and rough. Like it's just so punishing if you are not in the middle of the fairway that oftentimes you just have to pitch out.
Braeden to keep it going here. Catches a late one. Yeah, that was looking good.
This hole is a little poke and pray up towards the green.
A little bit, and the basket is sitting on a little bit of a cliff. The left side really drops off. Common theme, if you guys watched yesterday. These guys are used to.
A lot of scary putts on this property. The forehand into the green, I feel like, is more common here, just because of the slope and the kind of shape of the fairway. Let's see if Lucas can show us how it's done.
Yeah, you just knew it was gonna hit that out of his hand. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, just a little wide. Aidan after a great drive.
Mid-range approach, moving left to right. Perfect.
Wow.
Lands soft. Good up and down.
Yeah, that's pretty textbook from Aidan. Let's see what Lucas has got here.
Man.
Late tree. It's going to keep him right around circle's edge. Not the putt he wants for bogey.
No, and Braeden gets up and down here, make it easy on himself. Less stressful golf is good golf, right?
Yeah. Especially on a final round of an A tier when you're battling for the lead. Like at this course, tap and pars are your friend.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Send snap snap.
Oh, a little stressful, but
Yep.
able to fall. Only loses a stroke there. Gonna be a bogey for Charles as well. Starting to fall out of this thing. Aidan's trying to keep himself in it. Trying to make it a 3-horse race if he can.
That helps. Birdies definitely help. All right, moving on to hole 4, sponsored by VS Upshot. It is 667 feet. It is a tunnel shot off the tee, downhill, into this open landing area. Maybe you want to move a little bit left as well. From there, you got to navigate those trees over these bushes and into the green that is sloping right to left.
Yeah, the scary part about this tee shot is that leaning tree. It just kind of like gets in your head if you're trying to throw a straight backhand shot. Kind of forces more of a hyzer flip than a flat release, but Aidan does it perfectly. Oh, late tree. That was going to be fantastic.
Yeah, that was going to get way down there. Yeah, you're definitely right. I mean, a lot of times what I see is people kind of push it out to the right a little bit farther than they want because of that tree. It's just a disaster if you hit it, so avoid it at all costs. Smooth.
Yeah, Braeden, just so smooth, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of drift to the right, but that's fine. You might even see a lot of people throw the flex forehand off the tee just to kind of take that tree out of the way. It looks like Lucas is lining it up here because there's a lot of space on the right-hand side once you make it out the gap. Even though the basket is to the left, playing it out to the right and then swinging your second shot back in is a very viable option.
You bugger! Why?
Not a great shot
Why?
there from Lucas. Catches the last tree in the gap.
We all ask that. I mean, why? I mean,
Nate Sexton said it
Nate
best,
Sexton,
right?
yeah.
Why are trees? Nobody knows.
Still can't figure it out.
Yeah. This is up and downable. I don't know if that's a word, but I think Lucas could get himself a look here.
Yeah, it's definitely a word, first of all. So,
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
There's also OB though. Okay, that'll work. It might be a long look there. Yeah, the back side of that fairway or the left side from that camera view is out of bounds, so you don't want to push it into the rough, which can come into play if you're not careful. But
A little low out of the hands, but maybe that's what he wanted.
I don't know if he was going for that gap. I think that might have been
Yeah.
a little early release, but he snuck through. All right, this is where you want to be. These guys are going to have probably less than 300. Nice, soft, probably mid-range hyzer in towards the green. The gaps are a little skinny, but should be able to make that work. Oh yeah.
Yeah, nice shot. Yeah, I mean, that might even been a putter. As long as you get it over the bush,
Mhm.
coming in, it's most likely going to get to the basket.
Yeah, the tricky thing is Aidan probably can't actually see the basket because it usually lines up perfectly with those bushes. So distance control is a little bit tricky, but I mean, when you got
Not for
200
him.
feet in, yeah,
Yeah,
just park it, right? Yeah, what are you talking about, Nathan? You
yeah,
idiot.
what's going on here? You don't just do that.
Yeah, it's such an easy hole. You just, blast your drive 400 and whatever feet and then chip it up. Easy birdie.
That's right. Charles is over here. He's like, what?
He's like, what are you guys
All
talking about?
right.
Not a
That's a good
bad
out
shot from
though.
where he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Lucas with that slammer that we see a lot. Speed control into the basket. That'll
Yeah.
do.
Like, tap and par is not a bad thing. Keeps you in it.
It's quick. You think he was a little quick on that one?
It was. This is a common theme with Charles. All right, here's Braeden now. A little wind gust, maybe. Oh,
Little
just a bit
lift, yeah.
high. Yeah, you can see those bushes in the background moving around.
Yeah, he gave himself an opportunity there to get the stroke. He's just got to keep doing that.
Yeah, they're gonna fall eventually. Braden's a good enough player. If he keeps giving himself putts, the birdies are gonna come. Just got to make sure keep yourself in it. This round is still very young, right? Still
Absolutely.
don't want to stress yourself out thinking you need to get every hole. But hole 5 is definitely one you want to get. Par 4, 636 tee position has changed. It's a little longer, a little more uphill than it used to be. Players are going to throw hyzer off the tee into this hill, and then you're probably going to see either a straight backhand or a wide hyzer forehand in towards this new shorter basket position. A little trickier than the old version of this hole, but I think it's a good change overall.
Yeah, it seems like it. I haven't had a chance to play this one, but it seems like they made some good changes. I didn't notice before how they have those small pine trees lined up. When those grow in, it'll be a even trickier approach.
Yeah, for sure. This is leaking a little left. There is OB over there, but I think he is going to be short enough to where that's okay. It's just going to make his second shot a little tighter.
Yeah, I mean, are you really trying to flex something up and into the right on this one?
I don't think so, because they also added, I should mention, they added out of bounds on the right-hand side as well. They didn't use
Okay.
the OB there. So that wooded area is also out of bounds. So this is perfect from Braeden. You just want
Okay.
to throw a hyzer up into that hilly area, and just try to get yourself into the flat. It's not really worth it, I don't think, to try to move something left or right.
Well, we'll see if Lucas agrees with you here. He does. He agrees.
Yeah, there you go. Just something straight, little hyzer. He can make that work. This hole has gotten significantly harder though because of the landing zone that you're hitting, right? And the previous tee pad, you were able to get past most of these trees that the guys are landing in now. So it was a pretty open second shot. Now you're landing in the middle of all these trees that you used to be throwing past. So the gaps just shrink, right? Like you really got to hit a gap rather than being in the gap.
I
It makes
see.
a big difference, even though it seems like a small change.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know it's only 636 feet, but it is pretty far uphill. So it
Mhm.
probably plays more, what, like 750, you think?
Probably at least 7, yeah. Because you're
Seven.
throwing, these guys are throwing the equivalent of 400 feet off the tee, right? And they've
Right.
got probably 3 bills into the basket. So yeah, I would agree with that. Really nice shot from Lucas there.
There you
He's
go.
going to give himself a stress-free birdie.
Let's see if Braden can match.
Not a bad line. Comes up a bit short.
He'll leave himself a tester.
Yeah, those small trees, like you mentioned, are about 50, if I remember correctly. So definitely in the circle 2 range. We want to be well past them if possible. Something like Charles is doing here actually goes a little bit long. That's still a nice shot.
Yeah. Here to keep birdie streak going. A little low.
Bit low, didn't quite commit. Probably 50 or so there. It's going to be Charles from just inside the circle.
Just struggling a little bit with the putting.
Just hasn't quite found the feel yet. Just a little off.
Nice putt.
Yeah, nice and confident putt there from Aidan. That spinner.
So this wasn't one of the hardest holes. However, it did only have 3 birdies. Lucas being one, Ian Burchett, and Dylan Horst being the other 2. A lot of pars. All right, hole 6, sponsored by Jersey Discs. This is a par 5, 906 feet. This is, as we said in round 1, straight, and then straight, and then straight, and then straight. Very tight gap. 2 real landing zones. Putter, mid, fairway, whatever you want. I would say most people take 3 mid-ranges in a row if they can to give themselves a putt.
Yeah, I think the ideal shot off the tee is probably like 3 to 350, right? It's all you really want to try to bite off. I think Lucas is going mid-range here. Just a soft little hyzer. This looks like it's perfect.
Yeah, and then he just does that again.
Yeah, and then one more time. Well, you probably have a putter in, but yeah, that would be ideal.
This looks like a mid-range here as well.
I like the thought process. Looks like a good angle.
I think people like in the past have overcomplicated this and they've tried to get way down there with fairways and just learn their lesson. So there's no need, or maybe that's just me, but there's no need. Just throw the mid.
I think it's just a confidence thing, right? Like whatever disc or speed that you're confident like hitting the line with. It looks like Braden's going fairway driver is probably like an FD or something like that.
Maybe
throw that, right? If you're good at throwing fairways straight, throw fairways straight, right? If you would rather throw a putter straight and bite off a little less, do that, right? It's just fair. Kind of whatever you're confident in throwing a disc straight for 300 and whatever feet, you got to throw that disc.
See, this just seems to be the mistake, trying to bite off a little bit more. It's just ripping it hard and getting over on it, and it's mainly chipping out from there.
Yeah, once you're off the right-hand side, there's not much on this hole. The left-hand side, sometimes you can get a little aggressive, but there's also that OB on the left-hand side, which can give people some trouble. So, usually just the best option is get yourself back into the fairway so you can throw another straight mid-range shot, kind of like this.
Getting to the second landing zone, maybe leaking a little bit left, but he should be able to work something from there.
Yeah, I think I'll have something, maybe a little step out forehand or something like that. But this is technical. Going forehand second, like we said, you don't want to be on the right hand side, so he's going to really have to keep this straight for as long as possible. And that's an easy mistake to make.
Cool. You're lucky.
Right. Nice little cut roll kind of anti-skip back out to the fairway, so that could have been worse.
Yeah, that still leaves him in birdie position.
That's a fantastic shot.
Wow. Yeah, it almost looked like that came out sideways out of his hand, but just with a nice amount of ante and just turned it right down the fairway. Braden still might be able to get birdie depending on how much he bit off there.
I think so. Charles, talking about biting some off. He's going for it all.
Looks overturned again. Those skinny trees, would not recommend. It's not fun.
No, they're not. It sounds like you've been in them.
I plead the fifth.
It's weird. It seems like the disc. It's so easy to get in to those trees, and you're like, how did it get in here? Because I can't get
Yeah.
out.
The gaps are all smaller than the size of the disc. The physics does not make sense to me. Braeden looks like he might learn that lesson as well. We'll see how far in he got.
Lucas having to do another forehand for the angle, and this one looks better.
Yeah,
This one looks way better.
Yeah, that's a great shot. Yeah, as you can see, don't have to play this hole perfectly to get the birdie, but you need at least two really good shots. Like you can't throw a bad shot and get away with it on this one.
Sounds like there's some farming going on.
Yes, there's another farming area. Your favorite.
There it is.
Oh, giving it a bit of run. Farming area over there. Left out of bounds.
And a farming vehicle.
Aidan's gonna have a tester putt. Let's see. I don't even know who that is.
You can't even see in there. I think it's Charles.
Yeah.
That's I mean, just to get out, right? Like he could have easily hit a tree and fell back in, and he gave himself a putt too. So pretty good.
Yeah, there's Braeden. Looks like he was fairly close to the edge, so not too terrible to just pitch that one out. But yeah, it's not fun. You'll see people throw forehand rollers from in there because it is so thick. Like you just kind of hope that putting the disc vertically gives you a better chance to make it out. Charles finally gives a putt the height, but a little too high.
You hate that. You feel like you just can't. You can't make it work. Too high, too low, too low, too high. Nice birdie putt there. Played it like you're supposed to. I like it.
Yeah, it's 3 in a row now for Aidan. Puts himself in the mix. One back temporarily. We'll see if Lucas can grab the solo lead here.
Maybe 20 feet.
For, I think, the first time this tournament.
A little bit of nerves. There you go.
Good commitment there.
Yeah. We all know that nervy feeling. I liked his breath work, just taking that deep breath before you're ready to go putt, get yourself back into the mindset.
Yeah. For all the, if you're watching and you ever struggle with putting, there's never a bad time to just step away, regroup, come back, commit, If you ever get that feeling you're like, I'm going to miss this putt, regroup. All right, here we go. Hole 7. Par 3, 382. Absolutely beautiful hole and an absolutely terrifying hole at the same time. The basket's right there. You'll see some people go straight putter. You'll see some people go a little flex forehand. We had a headwind today, as is customary on this hole, because it isn't hard enough already, right?
Yeah, the disc golf gods, they just want to punish you, and we just have to accept it.
It's actually kind of helps with the forehand because you can just blast something over stable and it holds a little straighter, because that's kind of what you need. Like Lucas, that's incredible, right? But it's almost like you can't really throw that shot if there isn't a headwind,
Yeah, it's good if you like birdies. It's fine.
Yeah. It makes the backhand a lot harder, though, or at least scarier, right? Because you got to kind of stable up, but stable discs tend to fade out, right? So that's not what we want.
Yeah, it's tough. It's if you have the forehand, that's the shot I like. Headwind or not, you're right. I think the headwind makes it a little bit easier to throw the overstable disc, but
See if Braden's able to match. This looks great. A little low.
skip. Yep,
Thank you.
that's a putt.
Yeah, scary putt, but that is a putt. Probably about 30
Yeah.
short.
I think if you're throwing the backhand putter, that's what you want. You want to hit short side right of that middle tree on the hill and just let it kind of skip. So that was well done. This needs to turn more.
Ah, that's in the water. Might get it back though, but
Yeah.
not going to get the stroke back.
Charles having a rough round so far. Let's see if he can pick it back up.
So this is the drop zone. kind of a blind, not blind, but you know, up and over the
Yeah.
hill, about
I,
45, 50 feet.
yeah, I think you might be able to see like a top link of the chain. Yeah, just a
Yeah,
little pitch up.
it's a scary
Nothing
run.
to think about. This is to stay within one of Lucas.
Yeah, big putt here, about 30 feet. Oh,
No. Took a
just
trip around the
left.
world.
It's going to be one Braden's going to want back. Just a little left, didn't quite commit to it. It's going to drop another stroke to Lucas here. I mean, you'd have to think with Lucas's distance that once we get on that home stretch, you know, he definitely has an advantage with some of these par fives down the stretch. So,
Yeah.
gonna want to keep
Yeah.
this close if you're Braden.
Absolutely. If you thought that hole was hard, we are moving on to hole 8, sponsored by Treemagnets. This is a par 4, 554 feet. It is a double peninsula. Very tricky hole. Land your drive on the first peninsula and then have an upshot into this scary death putty green.
Yeah, tricky guy. Like it's not hard to land your drive inbounds off the tee, but it's really hard to land your drive in a good spot off the tee.
Yeah, to get yourself to say go for it when you're not in position is tough to do on this hole. But that is a great shot.
Yeah, on the hill is good. He might be able to see the basket, maybe. I'm not sure if
Maybe.
it's high enough up there. It also could be very scary because it could be blind. This is scary backhand.
Yeah, so I mean you don't have to land it up on the hill. If you land it just to the bottom, kind of right there,
That was a good little.
he'll have a shot into the green. It'll be a blind like turning shot, but he'll be able to go for it.
Yeah, I think like if you land at the bottom of the hill there, it almost forces you to throw the backhand turnover into the green
Yes.
because you don't really have the angle to throw a forehand. Um, oh, almost a black ace there. That's going to be a terrifying. If he decides to go for it, a really scary shot.
I just don't see it, but maybe he will. Charles, a little low out of the hand, but he's safe. And I
think,
have a feeling Charles is going to go.
yeah, with how his round's going, I think he's probably going for this, but it's a scary one.
That's got to turn. That's got to turn. And it did. I saw.
Wow, what a shot.
Unreal.
Never know.
It's almost better that he was farther back from the hill, right? Because he can
Yeah,
kind of
maybe.
like, you know, throw it more straight. Whereas Aidan, he's got to throw this like up and on Annie. Whereas Charles can kind of just drive that shot more direct, get the nose down.
He was going. Maybe it
Clip
was
some,
bad enough to sit. No.
clip some branches there.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to go for it. I'll be honest, I don't see a lot of people go for it, but he you know, he wants to be in contention to win, so you got to keep the gas pedal down.
Yeah, even this here from Braden is a scary shot. Turnover blind. I think he ends on the safe side, which is good. I don't know if he'll have a putt
Okay.
over there. I think this is the
Safe is
hole
good.
you see more like 30-foot jump putt layups than any hole. Like
Yeah.
like from the fairway, like to
Right.
the landing zone. Because you'll see people land on the short side of this hill and you just can't. Especially when the wind is high, which it kind of seems a little calmer right now, but it's just such a scary putt to go for. Ooh, scary roll there, but stays in bounds.
And Aidan, after going OB, you know, trying to give himself a putt. Looks like he's shooting for the bottom of the hill. I mean, that's not a guaranteed putt, right? Like that's way uphill.
Yeah, it's a 12 footer that's 15 feet uphill.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a layup.
I mean,
Smart.
You can't. Yeah, very smart. You can't even see the bottom of the hill from where he was.
This is when you almost have to run, but if you miss, you got to airball it.
It's one of those feelings. Miss big.
Yeah, do not hit the cage or it's in the water. That's
Is it
still might
down?
go. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, gosh.
You just gotta sit there and
So
watch it.
scary. Ah, left side.
Tough hole.
Yeah, tough hole, tricky, another tricky
Tough
green,
hole.
right? Like I love the greens on this course. I think they did a great job with like intentional basket placements to where you got to think about it, right? You got to think about your 20 footers. You got to focus
Yeah.
on your 20 footers and be intentional about, which putts you're going to try to make and which ones you're going to lay up.
Yeah, this coming in looks like the fourth hardest hole. 7 birdies, not bad. Charles being one of them. And a little shout out to you. You got this one.
This is where my round started to turn around, luckily.
Good.
Nice par there for Lucas. Par for
Nothing
Braeden as
wrong with a
well.
par. There's
Yep.
no problems with a par. It looks like it was one of the most double bogeyed holes on the day.
Not surprising. Hole 9, par 4, 595. Very uphill tee shot again. Either you want to land over here on the left-hand side to open up this backdoor hyzer into the green, or you can land on the right-hand side of the fairway, which opens up more of a straight shot into the green. You just don't really want to be in the middle because there's a clump of trees that kind of gets in your way. So we'll see what these guys opt to do.
Charles letting it rip. Get through it all.
That looks
Catches
so
the lead.
good.
Yeah. That was going to get way up there.
Charles has got a good amount of power. Like his swing is very compact and it doesn't really look like he's doing much, but he rips the disc.
Yeah, the first time I played with him a few years ago, I thought the same thing. Like, his swing's small, but I was like, wow, this guy can throw.
A lot of
Good
forehands
positioning.
from Lucas off the tee, but a lot of them have worked out so far. Just kind of playing controlled golf on a lot of these par 4s and 5s and just, keeping himself in the fairway, not doing anything too crazy. I like the game plan.
This is turning. Get through it all. Now, is that a little left of where you want to be?
I think that's too far.
Is it? Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we get up there, but that might be
Okay.
too far.
I just feel like you want to be turning a lot once you get up the hill.
Yeah, like where Aidan is, that's also really far left. I don't know. It's tough over there. The lines get really tight if you go too far to the left-hand side. Charles catches something. He's got a tree in his backswing.
This is tricky. I mean, he's on the left side. I think there's just a wall of trees, and he's got a really hyzer way around to the right.
He just pures it.
He did it. Wow.
Goes deep. What a shot. That was really good. Especially with like tree in his backswing and just trying not to break your hand. Yeah, so this is that right-hand side that I was talking about. Lucas is kind of just has a straight shot in from here. Going with the forehand, it's going to leak a little bit, but I don't know, stays pretty close. That was nice.
Yeah.
I just don't know what Braden's going to have. Might be a pretty tight hyzer.
Yeah, he's really trying to swing it right to left, but I mean, he does it perfectly.
Wow. I think he was just far enough up the fairway that, even though it was a tight angle, he didn't really, he could just go kind of mid-range. And here's Charles.
That's all right. He got it.
Put from there. Stop the bleeding. So, circle 2, what do you think this is? Like 55?
Yeah, something like that. Little step through, a little low. Charles low again. Some of these greens do get pretty quick, like in the dirt patches or like pine straw kind of areas. You really got to have touch coming in, or you're just can scoot quite a bit.
absolutely. Even throwing like the slower discs, you know, Braeden threw a putter soft and it skipped pretty far, but that's a good birdie to end this front nine, and stays within.
One for now.
I'm gonna wait for this putt before I say anything. There we go. Stays within 2.
Yeah, Aidan kind of slipping back a little bit. It's going to take a par here, I believe, but it's shaping up to be quite a battle, though, coming here down the stretch between Braeden and Lucas, trying to see who's going to be the one to take down this A tier at Lake Marshall.
Yeah, good front nine. We had some good putts, just like this one. Saw some amazing drives.
Yeah, it's a great tournament. Thank you to the Norse gods. Thank you to the Patreon family, as always, for supporting the coverage. 9 more holes left at this year's Lake Marshall Open. Come on down, click through to the back 9. We'll see you there.